we're gonna ask you to not come back for the
Worst job
school
I
year.
ever had.
That's
Worst
actually
job
what
I ever
firing
had.
looks like.
Oh, nothing.
What's the worst job you've ever had?
The worst job I ever. Oh God.
I've had a lot of not good jobs.
Oh, I cleaned boats, selling windows, door to door, lifeguarding.
My first job graduating from college was a pyramid scheme.
Oh, I used to sell timeshares. Why?
Working at a bar called Crackheads. I was canvassing for Planned Parenthood. I got water thrown in my face. I got spit on. Oh, I worked a basketball camp and I had to clean up after teenage boys.
I was a lingerie barista when I was 19 years old on Highway 395. I did not like being objectified in the name of getting coffee.
What's the worst job you've had?
Oh, I worked at a casino, working at a dry cleaners. The fumes were so bad that they had to shut it down a couple years later, which is crazy because like I did have a headache every single time I worked there. I worked at a horse barn.
Did you have to shovel shit?
Literally. You have to like clean up shit.
All the staff made me clean up the throw up. They were like, ew, it's really gross, it's fashion, you can go clean it up. And I was like, cool, yep.
Why did they make you clean it up?
Because they were all managers.
The management was very unorganized.
Management wasn't fantastic. I had a very crazy boss.
Boss was just, he was just awful. My boss was a bitch.
She would like make me clock out at like 10 p.m. but then I had to keep working without getting paid.
She would come in and she'd tell me I wasn't wearing enough makeup. I just like after one shift I was like, I'm fucking done. And I just like emailed her daughter. I was like, your mom sucks, and I quit.
Maybe working for my dad.
Oh yeah.
You know, he'd be yelling at them. He's like, why aren't you there yet? And I was like, like it's never a side of my dad that I've seen.
The owner watched us on cameras all day to like make sure that we were like working.
The owners made very disparaging comments about my kind, my family.
My manager, he used to comment on my hair a lot.
What would you say?
That I would need to tame it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I just had like an office job where my boss was really mean to me.
Did you get fired or did you quit?
I had to get legal help
Oh my
to
god.
get out of that employment situation.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it worked out just fine.
That smile's crazy.
What's the worst job you've ever had?
I would say my first two jobs because they were both in retail.
Retail jobs.
Retail, working, graveyard. Absolutely no graveyards for me.
They wanted me to work 10 p.m. to 4 a.m.
Get off at 4 a.m. Then I'd go to class at 8 a.m.
Yeah, I didn't sleep at all.
They just threw.
No, like what? No, I'm talking about like. Fucking mind. What's up like working at a cemetery? I just hit my mom.
Area up in a gentleman and his wife.
Damn.
You can't put the final dirt and grass on until all the graves are settled, and then you've got to make sure that as they settle, you keep going back over them and make.
Rip.
You in the deep end and just like we're like figure it out, but we're gonna yell at you if you don't get it right.
I worked for like a video game store. I just got screamed at a lot.
Oh.
I worked at GameStop for 6 years.
What didn't you like about it?
Getting hit on by 13-year-old boys.
And I was in customer service in Walmart, and it was awful.
People can be really mean.
Some people can be really
Oh, no one got neck.
It was an asshole.
It was a lot of very entitled humans that I was working with.
I think I've just had been like past that point in my life of like standing all day.
I just realized that it was just not something I wanted to do. Tons of lifting, it just was not. Out of high school was not it.
Never had another labor job after that.
What's the worst job you've ever had?
I was a front desk at a beauty school, and it was horrible. I was sitting in a cubicle all summer. I could show up at 8 and leave at 5 and not talk to another person all day, and it was really depressing.
Didn't
No,
really
about
get paid, I just got like
cubicle.
housing.
It didn't have end times for the shifts, so I just stayed there until they said I could leave.
How was that legal?
I was a minor, so I didn't really know about the laws. I don't know.
That's even worse.
Yeah.
Did you get fired or did you quit?
I quit.
Oh yeah, I quit.
Well, she tried to fire me, and then by the end I quit. I was like, I'm out of here.
Did you quit respectfully or kind of?
Oh, I quit joyfully. I just told him, deuces.
Have fun replacing me.
Just don't expect me back.
I had just had enough. I think I just stopped showing up. That's not great. I wouldn't do it again. I never did it again. I've always been pretty good about putting 2-week notices in.
I wanted to leave before the 2 weeks, but I stayed professional and I
I finished through. Did you quit or were you fired?
Technically, I got fired.
I wanted to quit and they fired me.
I got fired because I went on a mission trip with my church.
That person's going to hell.
Oh yeah.
What's the worst job you've ever had?
That's when I worked fast food at Bojangles.
Domino's, In-N-Out, drive-through.
Red Lobster.
Restaurant?
Like the first restaurant job that I worked was like a reality check.
And they had all the front of house like white people, and they had back of house all people of color.
I was a waitress. I just really didn't like the people that I had to serve.
People would be really particular about their food items and would like yell at workers.
I worked at Jimmy John's for one day. My first shift, they like scheduled me from like 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. I had to deliver it to some guy in an alley, and I quit the next day because I was like, I'm not doing that.
I was in prep cutting onions for like 8 hours. My boss would give me a lot of shit because I would, sob because onions. I worked at Chuck E. Cheese.
Chuck E. Cheese.
I worked at Chuck E. Cheese.
We've got a lot of Chuck E. Cheese answers here today.
Like you gotta clean piss out of a fucking slide.
You have to put on the rat costume.
Yes, I've been in the mouse costume. It's really smelly.
So is it true that Chuck E. Cheese grabs leftover pizza slices and builds a pizza?
I have witnessed that. That is not a conspiracy. I have seen pizza be dropped on the floor, picked up, and put right back on. Shit.
What's the worst job you've ever had?
Probably babysitting 7 kids at once. Babysitting rich kids, daycare provider.
Rich kids.
It really was rewarding at times, but oh my god, being an elementary school teacher was terrible.
The kids were just, we don't like to use the B word like bad, but they were terrible.
What's the worst job you've ever had?
I actually have never had a bad job. And I love the job I have now. I've actually liked all my jobs. I actually haven't had many bad jobs.
I've actually only had one job.
And you love it?
Yeah, I do like it. I think it's really fun, yeah.
Okay.
I don't really have a job that I hated the most.
All of my jobs have taught me a lot, so I would say none of them are worse.
Do you believe in having a dream job?
Yes.
What's your dream job?
I want to be a professional actor.
I want to be working with people. I guess probably like the job I'm having now. It's like I'm nannying right now for different families.
I think there is dream jobs, but people don't understand that even when you get to your dream job, like yes, it's still gonna be work. Because if you make it become your whole life, then it can start to feel like a chore.
I think I will get my dream job.
Which is what?
Possibly owning my own business down the road.
Big wig at the company that I'm with.
I'm running shit. I'm a manager or CEO or some top of the organization. I don't know, I want to be boss.
My dream job is to get